Beneath the triad of crimson suns on Zorath, dunes stretched like frozen waves, shimmering with the radiant glow of Aether, the life-blood of the galaxy, coveted by all. This desert world, a cursed jewel, was the crucible of the stellar houses, dynasties that ruled the stars with iron and ambition. In the year 2673, the galaxy fractured under their dominion, each house forging thrones from blood and deceit. Yet from the shattered fringes, a spark ignited. Elias Varn, heir to a buried legacy, and Kael, a pilot whose heart burned with the fury of forgotten colonies. Elias stood atop a towering dune, his desert-forged armor clinging to his frame, his piercing emerald eyes scanning a horizon where dust storms wailed like vengeful spirits. At 25, his face bore the etched scars of sorrow, the loss of his father, Duke Elias Varn, cut down by House Vortis a decade ago. Elias clutched a vial of ether in his hand, its warmth pulsing through his fingers as if Zorath's soul whispered to him. Aether was more than fuel for starships or weapons. It unlocked hidden potentials, amplified will, and for Elias, it awakened a voice of persuasion, a psychic gift inherited from his mother, capable of bending minds like reeds in a gale. Beside him, Kael checked his plasma pistol, its sleek barrel glinting under the suns. His cybernetic arm, etched with star-shaped sigils, hummed faintly. Older than Elias by a few years, Kael was a survivor of the Outer Veil colonies, where House Chiron had incinerated his family in a brutal raid. With a roguish grin and eyes sharp as a blade, Kael was the flame to Elias's brooding shadow.
You're staring into the void again, Elias. What's haunting you? Your father's ghost, or this damned galaxy?
Both. My father dreamed of a free Zorath. He said Aether was the planet's blood, not the noble's plunder. But now it feels like ashes in my hands.
Ashes can still catch fire, brother. The Vortis, the Chiron, they think they own the stars. Let's show them they bleed like us.
Elias nodded, his heart heavy as a dying star. Kael spoke truth, but the visions, fractured glimpses of futures yet unwritten, plagued him. Since touching pure ether, he saw paths diverging, wars, triumphs, or annihilation. One future crowned him in blood, another drowned the galaxy in darkness. He loathed being destiny's pawn, yet each step seemed to draw him closer to its blade. The void was a cold, unforgiven bastard, and the Valthor citadel hung in it like a jagged crown of steel and malice, orbiting the shattered remnants of a long-dead planet. This wasn't just any fortress, it was the beating heart of House Chiron's empire, a colossal beast of a station where the stellar conclave's fat cats gathered to carve up the galaxy like a holiday turkey. Aether roots snaked through holographic maps in its core chambers, each one a lifeline of power that could make or break worlds. And right now, House Vortis was pushing hard for Zorath's total subjugation, their fleets poised to crush the Zoran tribes who'd hidden Elias as a kid, saving him from the assassin's blades that had claimed his father's life. Elias and Kael had ditched their desert gear for grease-stained technician jumpsuits, slipping through a maintenance tunnel that reeked of ozone and recycled air. The prismatic energy beams lining the walls cast eerie glimmers on their faces, turning their shadows into dancing phantoms. Elias's heart pounded like a war drum, every step a reminder that one wrong move could end them both. He could feel the vial of ether tucked against his chest, its subtle hum vibrating through his ribs like a second heartbeat. It called to him, promising power, but also warning of the cost. Every time he tapped into the voice, it chipped away at his soul, leaving him raw and exposed. Kael moved ahead, his cybernetic arm whirring softly as he scanned for patrols. The thing was a marvel, grafted on after a Kirin raid had left him for dead in the ruins of his colony. It wasn't just metal and circuits. It was a piece of him, etched with sigils from his mother's old star charts, a constant reminder of what he'd lost. His family, gone in a flash of plasma fire, his home reduced to ash. But Kael wore his pain like armor, turning it into that roguish swagger that had gotten them out of more scrapes than Elias could count.
You holding up back there? This place gives me the creeps. Feels like we're crawling into a dragon's belly.
He whispered over his shoulder, his voice a low rumble that cut through the hum of the station's life support systems.
I'm fine. Just keep your eyes open. Lord Kirin's got eyes everywhere. If we can hit that energy core, the whole fleet grinds to a halt. No more raids on Zorath. No more blood on the dunes.
Kael's grin flashed in the dim light, feral and full of fire.
Born ready, brother. This arm of mine, it'll crack their AI like an eggshell. Just keep those Valthor goons off my back. I ain't keen on dying in some floating tin can.
They emerged from the tunnel into a service corridor, the air thick with a metallic tang of machinery. Elias's mind raced with visions, flashes of futures where they succeeded, where the Citadel bloomed into a fireball that lit up the void, inspiring uprisings across the stars. But darker paths lurked too, Kael's arm sparking out, his body crumpling under enemy fire. Elias captured, his voice twisted by Kirin's interrogators into a weapon against his own people. He shook it off, focusing on the now. The Zoran had taught him that. Live in the sand, not the storm. Pushing deeper, they bypassed a security node with Kael's arm hacking the lock, its interface glowing like veins of liquid starlight. The grand chamber loomed ahead, a cavernous hall where lords in opulent robes barked at each other like wolves over scraps. Holographic maps floated in the center, pinpoints of light marking ether routes, veins of glowing blue that pulsed with the galaxy's stolen life force. Elias's breath caught. This was it. The nerve center where decisions were made that doomed worlds like his. He glanced at Kael, and they shared a silent nod. The hour had come, but as they stepped into the shadows, Elias felt a chill crawl up his spine. Was this rebellion his destiny, or just another step toward the blood-soaked throne his visions promised? He didn't know, but he couldn't turn back now. Not with Kael at his side, not with Zorath's whispers in his blood. Alarms wailed like banshees as Kael jacked his cybernetic arm into the main console, the interface sparking with a fury that matched his own. Code streamed across his vision like a digital storm, the AI fighting back with firewalls that felt alive, malicious. Elias stood guard at the chamber's entrance, his energy sword humming low in his grip, its blade a streak of blue plasma that promised death. The grand hall was chaos now, lords scrambling for exits, holographic maps flickering as the station systems glitched under Kael's assault. Valthor soldiers poured in from side doors, their obsidian armor clanking like thunder, plasma rifles charged and ready. Elias's heart slammed against his ribs, adrenaline flooding his veins like ether fire. He remembered his father's last words. The stars don't bow to tyrants, son. Neither do we. That memory fueled him, turning fear into resolve.
Drop your weapons!
His voice erupted like a thunderclap, infused with the voice of persuasion, a psychic wave that slammed into the soldiers' minds. They froze mid-stride, eyes glazing over as if caught in a dream, rifles tumbling from limp fingers. But not all of them. Not the elite squad advancing from the rear, their helmets humming with psychic dampeners that nullified his gift. These were Kieran's best augmented killers with no room for mercy. Kael gritted his teeth at the console, sweat pouring down his face as his arm overheated, circuits whining in protest.
This system's fighting me like a damn sand dragon. Layers on layers. It's got traps I ain't seen before.
Keep going. We're not dying here.
Elias roared, lunging into the fray, his sword slashed in a wide arc, severing a rifle barrel and sending sparks flying. A plasma bolt grazed his shoulder, the pain exploding like a starburst, hot and unrelenting. He bit down hard, tasting blood, but pushed through. The Zoran had scarred him worse in training. He parried another shot, his blade singing as it deflected energy, then drove forward, impaling an elite guard through the chest plate. The man gurgled, collapsing in a heap, but more came, relentless as the void. A hologram burst to life in the center of the chamber, towering and ominous. Lord Draven Vortis, his face a mask of aristocratic disdain, eyes like chips of ice. House Vortis's leader, the man who'd ordered Elias's father executed, in front of a cheering crowd.
Elias Varn, the whelp who dares defy me. You'll crumble like your father, mere dust in the void.
The words hit Elias like a gut punch, ripping open scars he'd buried deep. He saw it again, his father's head rolling in the sand, the crowd's roar, his mother's screams. Rage boiled up, mixing with the ether's hum in his veins.
You stole my family, ravaged Zorath. This is your reckoning.
His shout echoed, but Draven only laughed, a cold, mechanical sound that chilled the air. Kael shouted from the console, his arm glowing red-hot now.
Done. The core's overloading. 3 minutes till this place is cosmic scrap. We gotta move, Elias, now.
The station shuddered, lights strobing as auxiliary systems failed. Elias backed toward Kael, sword flashing to cover their retreat. Another bolt clipped his leg, sending him staggering, but he caught himself. Pain sharpening his senses. This wasn't just survival, it was vengeance for every soul the houses had crushed.